Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining our online reading session of the book, The Mood and Vision of Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Bhagavani Pachari निर्विशेष शून्यवादी भाष्यादिष्टार गम करति वाचलम मयाति गिरिमित्रपादम वंदे श्रीगुरुनिर्धारणं परमात्मनाथं श्रीचैतन्येश्वर आगीशायस्य लक्ष्मी यस्य सुभक्षस्य यस्य आस्तिर्दे संगतस्य यस्य देवे परा भक्तिर्यथा देवी तथा गुरु तस्य ऐकैकता यथा प्रकाशते गुरुवे गौरचंद्र राधिकाय तथा कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमः योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मां प्रसुप्तां संजीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नां शास्त्रचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणानां भगवते पुरुषाय निजं गुरुहरिवाण्या कृष्णचित्तो विचिन्त्य प्रभुभजन सुखाब्दो मच्चिन् संसर्गो जयति। So we are reading from the book The Mood and Mission of Srila Prabhupada by His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj. We are in the reading from volume 3 of the book and we are in section 17. Section 17 entitled Organization and Management. And in that we are in chapter 3, Qualification and Duties of the Leaders. In that we are under the section to be expert. To be expert. Expertise is a Vaishnava quality which Srila Prabhupada specifically wanted his managers to have. One of the qualifications of a Vaishnava is Daksha. He must be very expert in doing things very nicely. Not that because one is a Vaishnava, he will be callous in the worldly things. No. Therefore, I repeatedly request the management that you must be very expert in managing these temple affairs. The president must be very expert. Srila Prabhupada said it is not that officers should be expert in one field only, they should be expert in everything. He demonstrated that all round expertise with an anecdote from his own life. The expert manager, the bank manager, if some man in the establishment is absent, he can do the work immediately because he has learned all the things. Bank manager becomes from lower clerk. When I was the manager in Bose's laboratory, there was a strike, so there was no packer. I asked all the clerks, come on, let us pack. As soon as we began packing, the strike was broken. So a man claiming to be the high position must be expert in everything. Therefore, a Vaishnava is called Daksha, expert. This Krishna consciousness movement is the highest, topmost quality. So, in case we are required to do work of some lower quality, we cannot say that I do not know, we must do it. Referring to going to the bank, making investments, seeing the trial balance, making letters, seeing how things are going on, like that, Srila Prabhupada instructed you. You must become expert in all these matters. And to another leader, so far going to Dallas for the fire yajna, better you should learn how to perform it and do it there. Every temple president must be very expert in all these things. Okay. Hmm. Okay, Paramatmananda Prabhu, you can continue to read. Leaders' duties.
Hare Krishna. Pranam Prabhu.
Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Am I audible, Prabhu?
Yeah, you are
Yes,
audible
Guruji. Am I
very
audible?
loudly audible.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
very loudly audible. Yes.
Okay. Leaders' duties. A definition of the art of management in Krishna consciousness. The art of managing is to do all things at once in a nice manner. And the guiding principle is to do whatever is practical for preaching Krishna consciousness and at the same time maintain our high standard of routine Krishna consciousness practices for making ourselves progress on the spiritual path. Specific duties for temple presidents. Now your duty shall be to manage all temple affairs, to see that all departments are running on smoothly. Not that you have to do everything yourself. No, but you must make sure that others are doing their work properly according to the standard. You shall see that routine work such as chanting 16 rounds, rising early, cleanliness, scripture classes, kirtan, prasad, cooking, and distribution, sankirtan, all these matters of routine work should go on smoothly under your direction. This routine work is the backbone of our Krishna consciousness, and if it is unstable or neglected, then all other temple programs will also fail. Besides, besides these things, you must make sure that deity worship remains at a very high standard. If or when you have deities, and also that good accounts are kept of all money received and paid out. You are the example of everything the other devotees in your temple should be. So you must always remember this and act on the highest level of Krishna consciousness. More going to the bank, making investments, seeing the trial balance, making letters, seeing how things are going on like that. You must become expert in all these matters, just as I am giving you example.
One thing I want to just explain here. See, Prabhupada is some devotees, they join temple, they join brahmacharya ashram or grahasthas. They become preachers, and they think that all these, what Prabhupada is telling about seeing the trial balance, seeing the accounts, seeing the investments, seeing whether the letters, so many things a house or a temple or a center requires. So this is all meant for preaching. This is all, we should not think that is away from preaching. Some devotees, they don't want to just, they just give classes and go from the temple. They may be very expert in giving class, but they don't want to touch all these things. Sometimes it is also seen that mm, devotees think that these are all material, because these are all not material. These are all spiritual. Everything is connected to Krishna consciousness. Everything is connected to spirituality. Everything is connected to preaching Krishna consciousness. Yeah, out of service, out of over a period of time, we may not like that. Oh, seeing accounts is very good. Maybe some other devotees can do, but we should not become averse of that. Oh, I don't need anything. I'm just happy doing kirtan. I'm happy doing book distribution. I'm happy doing reading this. That's all. I'm happy. This is neophyte mentality. We should know that all these things, many things are required. Actually, because leaders are doing it very nicely, all these things. That's why we are able to do deity worship, do kirtan, do japa, do book distribution. If that is not done, that foundation is not laid, that cannot be done. Just like nowadays, ISKCON devotees all over India, all over the world, they should be indebted to Prabhupada's disciples. Those who have gone all the way from United States to various countries. I know devotees have gone 4 families have gone to London. They had a baby, newly born baby also. Tamal Krishna Maharaj and his wife, uh, Shyam Sundar Prabhu and wife, and Gurudas Prabhu and wife. All these were there in London. Another family, God Sundar and Prabhu and wife also, I think. So the four families went to London all the way to preach to Beatles and meet devotees. They were living in, you know, uh, they were living in that tunnels like thing in outskirts in the outskirts of the city. They have the corporation. They leave the big circles like thing where cemented ones, rings. There are big hollow tunnels like thing for construction, meant for construction. They were living there. So, my point is, we should be all be indebted to those disciples. Now, whatever preaching is going on in all over India, it is there. This one that we are able to preach all over India. Otherwise, Achitananda Prabhupada said, Guru Maharaj also said many lectures that Achitananda Maharaj, when he was sannyasi, Achitananda Swami, he used to go to Andhra Pradesh, he used to go to Tamil Nadu, mostly to Andhra Pradesh. And they used to be told, they used to have pandal programs in Nellore, in Ongole, in Visakhapatnam, in Vijayawada. Big pandal programs. 20,000, 30,000 people used to come. In Nellore, they used to have big programs. So now whatever we are writing, the fruits, even in Atlanta, even in United States, even in Russia, even in Yugoslavia, even in Slovenia, Croatia, everywhere, Prabhupada's European and American disciples have done so much of work, even in India also. Bombay, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, so much, Giriraj Maharaj put so much efforts in Bombay preaching. Now Jopati is doing, Pune is doing, but these are all Lallu Chammu. Actually, they have done such a great service. Delhi, Tejas Prabhu wouldn't have been there. Now Delhi wouldn't have been there. Mayapur, Jayapatak Maharaj, Bhavananda Prabhu wouldn't be there. Now Mayapur wouldn't be there. Gurudas Prabhu wouldn't have, Prabhupada wouldn't have told him to take responsibility of Krishna Balram temple. Now Krishna Balram temple wouldn't be there. Hyderabad, Mahaman Prabhu, so many devotees have done. So like that, everywhere, Prabhupada disciples, they have done so much of valuable service because of this. So everything is related to the preaching. So like that, here, whatever we are trying to do, everything is connected to Krishna consciousness. Even we open some center, trying to do some things, legal work, everything is connected to Krishna consciousness and everything for that activity so that people will come and preach. We may not preach. Future somebody will come and preach. We don't know. Yeah, continuing. Some of the functions that Srila Prabhupada expected presidents to perform.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh, uh,
Yes, bro. Paramatma and Prabhu. Please read.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Here,
Yes.
what kind of making investment Srila Prabhupada is talking about?
Investments means sometimes what happens is that they put in post office or at that time what I can see is that they put in post office or in bank account, in savings bank account. That is also one of the investment. They put in FD. FD is also there. Fixed deposits. They get lot of
Okay.
donations, so they don't want to use it. They will put it as an FD. Nowadays, so many investments have come. They will put in mutual funds. They will put in even FD is also running nowadays. Yeah, you get interest from that FD, and then sometimes what happens is that they deposit in the bank, and then direct the bank to invest from their account. So what they will do is that they will not have balance, but the bank will invest in various places. So even that is also that. So like that, investments would be there because we don't know suddenly something will happen. Something might come up. Um, so that's what I'm thinking. There's so many ways investments are there. Fixed deposit is one thing. Investing in lands is there. Investing in assets is there. These are all investments. Okay.
The mutual fund, I think it's not
Okay.
that thing. I think like
Mutual fund, what?
mutual fund is, I think it's type of gambling. Maybe.
Yeah, I can
Yes.
understand that, but what to do? See, mutual fund, everything is gambling then. Actually, you should not put in the bank also. What to do then? So,
Maharaj,
interests are
Maharaj gave a
fluctuating.
lecture. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mutual fund is actually gambling, but you are putting in the bank savings bank account. It is not that bank keeps like that. They take it and put it in investment. You know that or not? It's not that
Yes.
bank will just put your money. So the thing is that we are not doing it. We are not engaged in this one. Everything is a gamble. What your whatever money trade everything is going on. This is all based on futures and forwards. Whatever they do, these are all based on futures and forwards. So we can't escape. We can't do a direct gambling like the gambling casino kind of a thing or gambling. But the share broking is also gambling. So that's why we don't invest in shares. That's actually a direct broking. Mutual fund is gambling in the sense that we don't invest. The mutual fund company invests your money. So at that time, maybe mutual funds won't be there. I don't mean Prabhupada was there, but at least fixed deposits were there. And I think investment in lands was there. Investment in assets was there. That was there.
Hmm.
Mm. What do you think? Is it okay?
I think investment in mutual fund is not allowed.
Investment in mutual fund is not Prabhupada is talking about here. Investment in, say, because
Yeah.
investment means in mutual fund is a different scenario as such. But here investment means basically investment in fixed deposit, investment in land, investment in assets. Even books also are investment. Prabhupada said books are one nonsense investment. So, but you get the books printed and you have to distribute and you get the income out of it. So they are also there. Stock is an asset in one sense. You have to
Okay.
pay, that's a liability, but you have to also have an asset of books. Yes. Okay, Prabhu, you can continue. Is there anything somebody
Okay.
wants to ask
Okay.
regarding investment and all? Okay, Prabhu, continue.
Yes. Some of the functions that Srila Prabhupada expected presidents to perform. Do your duty as president of Hamburg Temple and try to improve spiritually. Our spiritual we should strictly observe the following points especially. Number one, neatness and cleanliness of personal body. I still see those who are initiated as Brahmanas do not wash their hands after eating even. Of course, there may be so many defects due to your birth in non-Brahmana families, but how long shall it go on? It is a very easy thing. Point two, chanting 16 rounds daily. I don't think everybody is following these principles. Point number three, temple worship, which should be performed rigidly between 4 and 10 a.m. A prime duty of leaders.
The, Prabhu, this thing I wanted to tell neatness and cleanliness of personal body. The proper there's so many different. He's saying that see, there's those who are initiated brahmanas do not wash their hands even after eating. Even actually, there are so many devotees who take with spoons. I've seen in good. I don't want to say the name of the place, but I have seen they are initiated devotees. They're not Brahminical initiated, but they are initiated devotees. Everybody is served with spoon, and initiated devotees also eat with spoon, and they eat with left hand, right hand, left spoon, right spoon. They don't matter. It doesn't matter at all for them. And then they don't wash their hands also. They just wash the plate and they just keep the plate and then walk. They as if you have just from your hand. You're dusting your hands like that, and then they walk around. So many devotees I've seen like that. If they eat with spoon, many devotees don't wash their hands. They think that eating with spoon is like something like you're not contaminating your hand. And what is this nonsense eating with spoon? You have hands, you eat with hands. If you're having any problem, then you can eat with spoon. But what is the need? Otherwise, um, actually, people get acidity because of eating with spoons. You know that
Yes.
people people don't know this. Actually, people develop acidity and ulcer and all these problems because of eating with spoons. Because in spoon, you don't know how much you're taking and you don't chew the food also properly. But with hand, it is entirely different. So it's a great science of eating. And actually, we should wash your legs and hands both after taking prasadam. We should wash your legs also. That's why in the archana process, before taking bhoga, that means when we are offering to the Lord, before the plate is offered, we chant the mantra that etad padyam. That means the feet is washed. Idam achaman. They should take achaman and padyam both. Padyam and achaman. And after taking prasadam also there is padyam and achaman. So, but my point is that because why it is like this for the Lord, it is done because it is for us. We have to do it first. It is for us to understand that we should become clean. Because taking prasadam means we're taking food means we are contaminating our body in one sense. Of course, it is a purification of heart, but actually Vedic culture means they wash their hands and legs and do achaman before taking prasadam. And after taking prasadam, they wash their hands and legs and do achaman to get purified and take bath and then go to the deity worship. I don't know whether somebody is initiated here, second initiated or not. They know it or not. I don't know. So unless and until we take bath, we don't enter into the altar with stomach full of stomach full of prasadam. So we don't do that. So that's a very high thing. But even this is very basic thing that whoever takes prasadam, the hand is contaminated. So we should wash hands. There are many devotees. They take bottle of water is there. They take touching the lips, the bottle touching the lips. If you're touching the lips and wherever you're keeping, it's all contamination actually. It's a basic common sense. How can you touch Bhagavad Gita with that? So, and one more thing is that after touching that, if you're done, you should keep it for yourself. You should not keep it in a general way so that everybody will touch. In other sense, if at all you want to drink with your mouth directly, then put in a place where you have to wash that place. And again, so many things are needed. So many things are. It's very difficult to explain. Mm. And sometimes here in the West, people don't bother at all. Left hand, right hand. They take chips with right hand, the left hand, and these papads, all these chips and all those things they take with the left hand. They don't have any concept of left and right. So, so Prabhupada is also telling again, so neat and cleanliness. So we should wash your hands. Okay. Yes, bro.
A, a prime duty of leaders is to personally follow the required rules and to guide and train their words accordingly. We have got a great mission. We should be very vigilant that the strong foundation remains solid. Encourage all the boys and girls to adhere to the regulative principles and chant daily at least 16 rounds. And as much as possible, all my students should become very well versed in all the philosophy presented in our books. The president and other officers must themselves follow and see that the others are following the regulative principles carefully and give them good instructions so they may understand nicely why this tapasya is necessary. A president of Hamburg Center try to observe all the regulative principles
As
yourself and
Prabhu,
see. Yes.
as as president of Hamburg Center, not a president.
As president of Hamburg Center, try to observe all the regulative principles yourself and see that all the members are following. This is incumbent upon all temple presidents and is the main work of the GBC members and body. All the presidents of our centers should see that all the members are strictly observing the Brahminical standards such as rising early, cleansing at least twice daily, reading profusely, attending arati, like that. That is the main work of BBC. Preaching, preaching comes first. Our first and foremost business is to spread Krishna consciousness. So utilize every opportunity that Krishna gives you for preaching his message. That is the real meaning of temple management. Categorically stating that preaching is more important than management. Srila Prabhupada explained why. Preaching is more important than management. Not that we can eliminate management. No, the two must both be there. But if your preaching work is strong, your management will automatically become strong. Always remember that our mission is to spread the philosophy of Krishna all over the world to practically save everyone from the dangerous condition of material existence. If preaching is strong, management will be strong. Management follows preaching like a shadow. Yes, preaching is more important than managing. Just because you are preaching nicely and distributing so much prasad, the management will follow like a shadow and Krishna will send you no end of help. Preaching supports management and sadhana supports preaching. If your preaching work is strong, automatically management will be easy. And preaching work is strong if our routine work is strong. Never neglect our regular program, and that will be your success. However, emphasis on preaching does not mean at the expense of managerial duties. Both should go on. I do not want the preaching to be at the expense of managing. Manager must also be a preacher, otherwise who will want to follow him? Still, rather than engaging in services like deity worship and cooking, a temple president should have more time for preaching. Writing to a GBC member, Srila Prabhupada cited himself as the example of how to combine preaching with managing and clarified that preaching begins with preaching to the devotees in the temples. Along with the other sannyasis, GPC members, and other leaders, you must become very serious to actually give humankind the the greatest welfare, namely this Krishna consciousness movement. Your task ahead is very huge, but it will be quite simple and easy if you simply do as I am doing. You must become conversant in every feature wherever it is needed throughout the society. Our first business is to preach to the devotees and to maintain the highest standard of Vaishnava education. Management must be there as well. Just as I am preaching daily from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, but I am also going to the bank, making investments, seeing the trial balance, making letters, seeing how things are going on like that. So you must become expert in all these matters, just as I am giving you example. Referring to book distribution as our most important work, Srila Prabhupada ordered that all the leaders should tax their brains for increasing the sales of our books. He specifically instructed all the GBC to make a plan how to introduce the books in every home. Dispatching Hridayananda Das Goswami to South America, Srila Prabhupada largely delineated his duties there in terms of book production and distribution. I was pleased to appoint you as GBC of South America in the hope that you will organize the printing and distribution of my literature there. On the scale of the US and European zones, I have been informed there is a very good chance for spreading Krishna consciousness in South America. Just as Hamsadutta and Bhagavan have gone to foreign countries and arranged for a solid program of translation, printing, and distribution of my books by Sankirtan party, so you will also find the devotees in South America willing to help you in this noble project, which is for the benefit, benediction of the suffering humanity. My own Guru Maharaj stressed the printing and distribution of literature, even our gorgeous temple construction, and I also was printing even before I had big temples in the US. So you may follow the footsteps of the previous acharyas while always strictly following the regulative principles for spiritual strength.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Purujit Prabhu, you can read. Keeping temples pure.
Prabhuji, here a little disturbance is there. Maybe you can give somebody.
Okay. Okay, Atindriya Prabhu, you
Yes,
can
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, in the previous paragraph, the Prabhupada is telling in the US means he's mentioning that he was doing the printing in the US, not the temple in the US. No? I had big temples in the US.
No, 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 no. I was printing even before I had big temples in US. Means Prabhupada was printing in India. Prabhupada was printing books in India, na? He was printing
Yes.
the first canto. He was printing the first canto 3 volumes, and he printed even Back to Godhead. So he was always printing books. Easy Journey, all these booklets. Prabhupada was distributing books even in India also. Easy Journey, Krishna Reservoir of Pleasure. All these booklets were there in Back to Godhead, and he was distributing Back to Godhead also. So Prabhupada was distributing books. Whatever books he used to write, he used to distribute them in India.
Okay.
Yeah. I was printing, that means in India, that is. And when after he came, I had big temples in the US. Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Keeping temples pure. One task that Srila Prabhupada repeatedly emphasized as the duty of leaders was to maintain the highest standards in all the temples by themselves being ideal examples. GVCs were to teach presidents and presidents were to teach others. Srila Prabhupada was confident that this temple formula potential to profoundly influence and change society.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Srila
Yes,
Prabhupada
Prabhuji.
was confident that this simple formula, not temple formula.
Srila Prabhupada was confident that this simple formula had the potential to profoundly influence and change society. Please see that the highest standards are maintained in all the temples in your jurisdiction as well as your own. We are now attracting the attention of the public in general and very influential persons as well. Our program, if it is kept pure according to my many instructions, will give you the deserved reputation of being the topmost members of the society. That is very much wanted so that we may hope to change the society as a whole. Keep the Montreal and Vancouver centers carefully in cooperation and in general see that things are going well with the help of your God brothers and other GBCs. The GBC must be vigilant by following the regulatory principles and teach the presidents of the centers by ideal character. And the presidents by their ideal character must teach the others. Then automatically all the members of the whole institution will be ideal to the human society. Then we can dictate to administrators or sometimes take hold of the administration, instructing that managers are responsible for keeping centers pure. Srila Prabhupada warned of the consequences that could otherwise ensue. We are establishing different centers not for sense enjoyment, but for good association of devotees. Managers of this institution must always know that we cannot make this institution or this center as a brothel. There must be such management that we have always good association for advancement. Take advantage of this temple, the centers we are opening, and live in Vaikuntha. The authorities of the temple should be so careful that it does not turn into something else besides a temple. Then you are safe. Then Maya cannot touch you. You must make sure that all these devotees are following the regulative principles very nicely. Everyone must rise early, take bath, attend Mangal Aarti, chant at least 16 good rounds, attend class, and follow the four regulative principles strictly. If these things are lax, then there is no question of spiritual life. Anyone who does not accept these things staunchly will have to fall down. Management should be done very carefully to see that there is not an easygoing, lazy attitude which will only end in fall down. Leaders were charged to immediately correct any deviation from the proper standard. If there are any discrepancies in the temples of ISKCON, they should be immediately rectified by conscientious officers. Now I am seeing more and more that my senior disciples must take an active role in continuing the high standard of purity which has been established in our Vaishnavas line. In your traveling from center to center, you must be very careful to see that the leaders are observing the principles of chanting 16 rounds, rising early for Mangal Aarti, participating in the morning and evening classes, observing the four regulative principles, etc. And if there And if there is any deviation from this standard, then it is the responsibility of you and the local GBC representative to rectify it immediately. Within these Vaishnava standards, which I have put forward, lies the spiritual strength of our movement. So you may please do the needful in this regard.
Okay, Prabhu.
Caring.
Okay, right.
Okay, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Okay, Ati. Where is he? Asita Prabhu is not here. Left.
He just now left.
Okay, you can continue for some time.
Yes,
Caring for and engaging devotees.
caring for and engaging devotees. Caring for the devotees who had dedicated their life in Krishna's service was a major concern of Srila Prabhupada's, which necessarily he largely delegated to the leaders serving under him. As he wrote to a temple president, you have a very great responsibility to take proper care of all the devotees who are engaged there. The first concern is for the devotees' spiritual well-being. Take care of the devotees under your charge by maintaining our standards and always setting the proper example. Krishna will certainly give you all guidance. The duty of the president of each temple and also the GPC is to see that each devotee is following the rules and regulations and chanting 16 rounds so that they may be spiritually fit. The priority of GPC is to preach to and maintain current devotees. The first business should be to preach to the devotees. It is better to maintain a devotee than to try to convince others to become devotees. It is the duty of the GBC to maintain the devotees, keep them in the highest standard of Krishna consciousness, give them all good instruction, and let them go out and preach for making more devotees. Your first job should be to make sure that every one of the devotees in your zone of management is regularly reading our literatures and discussing the subject matter seriously from different angles of seeing, and that they are somehow or other absorbing the knowledge of Krishna consciousness philosophy. If they are fully educated in our philosophy, and if they can get all the knowledge and study it from every viewpoint, then very easily they will perform tapasya or renunciation, and that will be their advancement in Krishna consciousness. This is the function of the GPC to see that one may not be taken away by Maya. First business of management is to interact with devotees so that they remain as devotees within the Krishna consciousness movement, a point that Srila Prabhupada repeatedly emphasized. The leader in charge of a temple must learn to successfully deal with the other persons there. No one is working as a paid servant. So if the dealings are not friendly, everyone will decide to leave. Things should be managed so nicely that our devotees may not leave us. We get a devotee after great endeavor, and we must train such a devotee in a nice way so that he may not go back and be at large in the clutches of Maya. We should always deal so tactfully that people may not fall away. Every living being is important in Krishna conscious service, and we must take all precautions that one may not fall away. Management should be done in such a way that people may not break away. That is the first business of management. They are voluntarily giving their lives to Krishna. So, as president, you must see that they are always happy and satisfied in Krishna consciousness. Then they will not go away. We have to manage our men in such a way that they may bend to our will but not break. After all, our work is purely voluntary. If they if they become angry and leave, then our work is defeated. We must be so careful to train the devotees nicely. Now they have come from the realm of Maya to Krishna's place. So it is our duty to keep them there, not that they shall again fall victim of Maya. They may have had some disagreement with you, but expert management means to engage all the devotees and not allow them to split into different parties.
Yes,
Leaders,
this is the problem going on among all devotees nowadays. Because of some disagreement with regarding some things, and the devotees who are so-called managers or leaders or what do you think, they just think that how to get rid of this guy because he's too much annoying, and they use many ways in such a way that devotees go away and they don't want to see each other. Mm, so many things. Prabhupada is actually telling about now how to manage the people. Here the whole thing is how to manage the people. Mm. Uh, See, things should be managed so nicely that our devotees may not leave us. We get a devotee after great endeavor, and we must train such a devotee in such a nice way so that he may not go back and be large in the clutches of Maya. Nowadays, devotees don't care whether devotees leave or not. They think that some devotee will come, new people will come. What is the point, you know? So they don't care at all whether somebody is leaving or not leaving. somebody has come or not come. They are so careless nowadays. Management, the managers, senior devotees, they don't care at all for others. That's why you see book distribution has fallen to such an extent in some of the temples that they hire people, pay them, hire people, I mean, hire karmis, and they run book distribution. Can you imagine happening like that? There are no brahmacharis now. At least two temples I know it is happening like that. And people think that's a very easy way, very nice way to engage people in Krishna consciousness. That's not engage. That is your foolishness. You are unable to manage people in such a way that book distribution can be done. You are such a fool that you are paying people, paying youngsters, just like the Amway. You have many sales people. They take the Britannica Encyclopedia and go door to door to distribute to sell them. Previously, when I was a child, salesman means his job is to come door to door and sell the products. That is what is the salesman used to do. Salesman means he goes from door to door, tells about the product, tells about the thing, and then he will sell one product. He will walk around, walk around. I don't know if anybody knows about this.
Yes, Rohit.
So that yeah, people were they used to know salesman means that is the job. And when I came to Krishna consciousness, I was very happy in getting the book and then going telling each person to person about the book because until then we didn't know what is the book, what is meant by book sale. So the thing is, um, sometimes it so happens that uh, people have so many problems. So, but not that we can know within 6 months or 7 months or 1 year or 2 years. We should see how people are engaging themselves in Krishna consciousness over a period of time. That means we should give them time. We should be patient enough to give them time 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And then slowly people will change. Not that you can shout, yell. I know a leader, he used to always shout, yell every time in the meetings. He used to tell that, if you are interested to stay, you can stay. Otherwise, the door is open. You can go. If you say like that, who will stay? You should inspire in such a way that people stay, and then people serve under you. Always have that attitude of bombasting attitude as an acharya. Don't try to unnecessarily do like that. There's so many devotees like that. They speak as if they are acharyas, but fellow cannot even sit for 10 minutes in, they can't dance also. There are many devotees. They can't dance in the kirtan. I know so many leaders. They give big lectures, but they can't dance in the kirtan. They can't dance. Cannot dance. They cannot sit for the whole lecture hearing Maharaj. They have very great problem. They are very good in giving lectures. They are very good in cutting the profile of being a very great devotee. But these are all leaders because they didn't undergo any sort of training of being this one. These are called as accidental leaders. It's called accidental prime minister. Manmohan Singh is called as the accidental prime minister. So like that, there is accidental devotees are there. They don't want to be under anybody from the time they came. They want to be independent, and then finally somehow by कुदरत का कृपा and छप्पर फाड़ के उनको मिल गया है. मतलब
Hmm.
from the providence, from the will of providence, and somehow they got the position of leader, and here you go, and they can give very nice lectures. They can quote from various Goswami's literature, various acharyas literature, but they cannot dance, they cannot it's very difficult. Mm. So the thing is that yes, we can't expect expertise in everything, but at the same time, devotee should feel inspired to be with you. That is what a devotee's main task is. Yes. So they are voluntarily giving their lives. So this is the thing we should understand. Everybody here in Krishna consciousness, whoever is at least joining Krishna consciousness at full time, they're voluntarily giving their lives to Krishna. They are not asking any money. So we should first give priority for that. They are not asking any money. They are not doing any monetary benefit. Yes, it may seem that they are doing for puja labha pratishtha. That's fine. That is okay. That doesn't matter. The main thing is that whether he is following four regulative principles, whether he is chanting 60 norms, he is not philosophically deviated. He is voluntarily trying to do some service. Yes, it may show somebody has that trait of showing that I am superior. No problem. That will get purified. But the thing is that voluntarily is there. Now there are some few things, adjustments, glitches here and there are there. That should be adjusted in the four walls, and rest of the things everybody should go together. So nowadays, going in the four walls has gone outside actually. Everything comes to the in front of everybody, and then they do a whole mockery out of it. So, so they are not happy. Many devotees are not happy under some serving under somebody. They are there because they have to be there. Otherwise, they can't go anywhere. There's there are few devotees, few temples where from there devotees cannot go anywhere. It's like for them, they don't know any other language. Language is a big barrier. At least, for example, if they are Hindi speaking devotees, they can't go to South India. Very difficult for them. The food and language. For the South Indians, at least for Tamil and Malayalam and Kannada, it is very difficult for them to go to any other language because the food and language is a great problem. So that's why, yeah. So Prabhupada is right. We have to manage our mind in such a way that they may bend to our will but not break. What is the use, You have done so much of preaching and then finally devotees leave and you get all the curse. You get all the curses of devotees. And finally, Krishna only can save you. Otherwise, nobody can save you. Yes, they maybe have had some disagreement with you, but expert management is to engage all devotees and not allow them to split into different parties. It should not become factionism, schisms, as Maharaj said. Schisms. Yes, leader must be strong, not forceful. Okay, continue, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. I can only suggest and wherever possible that can be applied, but I do not force anyone. After all, you are only working so hard to please Krishna only out of love for me. So there can be no question of force if love is there. We should not ever we should not ever try to force anyone or reduce our society to an impersonal business exchange. This will kill everything. Our only purpose in every endeavor is simply to make advancement in spiritual life or in pleasing Krishna. Do not deal with them by force. Responding to a report of President's meetings, Srila Prabhupada cautioned, your countrymen are more or less independent, spirited, and lovers of democracy. So everything should be done very carefully so that their sentiments may not be hurt. Overall, a responsible man in any establishment is always alert to keep peace and harmony within the establishment. Among the principal responsibility of a leader is to give good management to the devotees in his care and to see that they are fully engaged, otherwise downfall will ensue. As president, you should see that everyone stays engaged 24 hours a day in Krishna's service. Whether Grihastha, Sannyasi or Brahmachari, everyone has to be completely engaged all the time in devotional service. That is the meaning of good management. To see that everyone is engaged 24 hours a day and not sleeping unnecessarily or talking idly. A good manager is one under whose guidance devotees are happily engaged in Krishna consciousness. It is a voluntary process. Force will not stand. Force is not good because a decision made under force will not stand. For example, we advise our students to rise early in the morning, but I do not force anyone. I may force them for 1 or 2 days. But if they do not practice it, then force is useless. One test is that all the devotees should be satisfied. They have given their lives to Krishna. So we should see they are always happy. Their service is voluntary. It is not that we can force anyone to do anything. If we do, they will go away, and that is a great loss. Everyone must be encouraged to do that, to do what he likes to do for Krishna. The trick is to keep everyone always engaged happily in Krishna's service. Then they will advance rapidly. Just become very serious and thoughtful and learn this art how to engage everyone very nicely. Leaders means just like a father. Father is the leader of the family. And why father is the leader? Because he earns, he maintains the children, wife, servant, and establishment. Therefore, naturally, he is accepted as the leader of the family. Similarly, you accept the President Nixon as the leader of your country because in dangerous times he gives direction. In peace time, he gives direction. He is always busy how to make you happy without any cares, anxiety. Rochan Das recounted. Srila Prabhupada told me that the secret of good management is love. If the devotees love you, then they will do anything for you. Leaders are to help their wards become strong. Then the whole management will become stronger and will grow. That is the right idea to strengthen whatever devotees we have got in spiritual life, fix them beyond any doubts. Then our potency will increase and we may recruit dozens of new devotees easily. Consistent with Srila Prabhupada's policy of trying to engage everyone in Krishna consciousness and based on the principle that all our members are giving voluntary service, so they should always be encouraged in their service attitude. He exhorted his leaders to deal with the variegated personalities who joined the movement and to try to bring out the best in them. Regarding the usefulness or uselessness of the inmates, it all depends on proper management. You can't expect that all men and women who will who will be going there will be very useful. You have to make them useful by your own arrangement. Sorry, by your
Okay, Prabhu.
arrangement.
Okay, Prabhu. Somebody
Yes,
asking.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Asita Prabhu, can you please read?
Yes, Prabhu,
Continue.
sure. You can't expect that all men and women who will be going there.
No, 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 no. I have got a complaint
Okay.
from Nara.
I've got a complaint from Narnarayan that he's not being allowed to work in his on his gardening as I instructed him. So you let him go on with that work of gardening. Sometimes he may be difficult to live with, but good manager means he's able to satisfy everyone and live in cooperative manner with all the devotees. So if you manage things nicely, he can do tremendous work. I think there is more than sufficient engagement for everyone. We have got so much to do. We have to deal with so many men with different personalities. So kindly utilize their energies and at the same time keep them satisfied. That is leadership. Overall, that is leadership, how to engage everyone in their respective duties and properly utilize their energy. The motto for how GBC members should behave with their fellow devotees. You say that you will be tactful and respectful in your dealings. That should be the motto of all GBC. Be tolerant, and if there is any deficiency, rectify it. All our men have volunteered good service. So the background is goodwill. So everything should be done on the basis of goodwill. Stated otherwise, GBC must mean that by his managing there are no complaints. In one letter that is of immense importance in understanding Srila Prabhupada's desire for ISKCON, he stressed the crucial role of leaders in keeping the mood healthy. Therein, Srila Prabhupada gave another definition of the art of management and further emphasized the need for leaders to not only see that devotees follow the basic principles but also to draw out from devotees a spontaneous serving mood. The future of this Krishna consciousness movement is very bright as long as the managers remain vigilant that 16 rounds are being chanted by everyone without fail, that they are all rising before 4 in the morning and attending Mangal Aarti. Our leaders shall be careful not to kill the spirit of enthusiastic service, which is individual and spontaneous and voluntary. They should try always to generate some atmosphere of fresh challenge to the devotees so that they will agree enthusiastically to rise and meet it. That is the art of management. To draw out a spontaneous, loving spirit of sacrificing some energy for Krishna. But where are so many expert managers? All of us should become expert managers and preachers. We should not be very much after comforts and become complacent or self-contented. There must be always some tapasya, strictly observing the regulative principles. The Krishna consciousness movement must be always a challenge, a great achievement to be gained by voluntary desire to do it, and that will keep it healthy. Concerned not only with the spiritual uplift of his disciples, but also with their physical needs. Srila Prabhupada instructed a temple president, take care that devotees do not become sick. They should always be properly clothed and fed. See always to their welfare in Krishna consciousness. Once on a chilly evening, Srila Prabhupada noticed a lady devotee without warm clothing, and he told the temple president, if they require, they must be supplied. You must ask them what they need and provide them. Because they do not say you'll also keep silent, that's not good. Every month they should be asked what they need. Necessities must be supplied. Although in the earliest days of the movement, Srila Prabhupada had personally dealt with many details of his disciples' lives, eventually he delegated such matters to his senior disciples. So far, the marriage proposal between Madhvananda and Kaushalya enclosed,
Madhava
please.
Ananda. Prabhu, Madhava
Uh-huh.
Ananda and Kaushal.
Yeah, correct.
Madhava.
Madhavananda and Kaushalya. Enclosed, please find a copy of one letter I have sent to GBC men in that connection. Henceforward, these matters of marriage between the devotees must be decided upon by the GBC men and other senior members by their mutual consultation. So, in this case, you consider with other GBC and senior men. These things should be decided by our elderly members, not that I should be in charge, involved so much with matters of husband and wife. Regarding marriage matters and second initiations, these things should be taken up with GBC representative for that zone. More and more, I wish to not be involved in management affairs and want to devote my time to translating books. So please have some trust in those representatives I have placed as temple presidents and GBC members. They know the standard procedures in these matters, and they can advise you.
We will stop here. I think
Yes, Prabhu.
we
Yes.
will. Yes. Um, okay. Once again, we are in removal and rectification. So, okay, we have few sections left. Okay. So, anybody has anything to ask or say, you can unmute and speak.
I have one question, like general question.
Yes.
Like when Arjuna wanted to fight the battlefield, and so for fighting, he wanted the weapon, and the weapon he took from Lord Shiva, right? By
Okay.
Krishna's order. So for material things, like sometimes we may have to go to, like, in astrology, it is said that to worship this goddess, that goddess. In Bhagavatam also it comes, that
Okay.
god. So for material things, we may have to appease the particular deities.
Okay, what's the question?
So someone may have some doshas and they may have to rectify it. So these astrological remedies can be performed, right? That is my question.
No, you are asking a question or just saying, making a statement.
I am asking a question.
No need, no need to make any remedies.
Okay.
The thing is, every demigod is the Adhisthana Devata is Vishnu or Krishna or
And
Upendra
and
or
and and
somebody will
and
be.
so if they so we can say them to give Vishnu remedies, that would be fine, right, Prabhu? Sometimes they give Shiva remedies, but we can say them to give Vishnu remedies. That can be done, correct?
I'm not talking about remedies. The point is that for all the remedies, the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra and reading Bhagavatam is the topmost. Like for example, I'll tell you what is it. Like Guru Maharaj, like His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj is under like he's like he's whatever so-called good and bad, whatever astrological thing is there is taken care of by Sham Sundar Prabhu. So sometimes it so happens that he's being told to worship Parashuram or Vamana or somebody like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So point is that there are devotees in such a way. There are devotees. They may be see our birth itself is a big dosha. Early, uh, our taking birth in this material world is a big dosha. It's full of faults. And our being born as without any intelligence and not being Krishna conscious, that itself is curse upon curse. And so what I'm trying to say is that even you do all sorts of remedies, it's not guaranteed that things will go on very nicely. So better we seek such astrologers or such devotees who help us in astrology as a grahastas, because brahmachari should not see astrology, only for grahastas. Um, and if they want to see, so they give remedies in such a way that it is helpful for them to become closer to Krishna and become
Yeah,
they
yeah,
get
yes.
direction from become closer to Krishna and take direction from Bhagavatam. So
Yeah.
Bhagavatam has solution for all the questions. So the thing is that whatever doshas are there, it's only because we are not doing our devotional service properly. Anyhow, even if you do your devotional service properly, whatever is going to happen, you can't change it right away just because you have done some pujas or anything. Like for example, now Trump government has changed all the green card rules. Now, even if you do lot of pujas, homas, and all these things, the principle is in the hands. The principal thing, whatever Trump government is for green card, you can't change that. You can't. You are not the controller. So you can't get a green card being in United States now. Now you have to
No,
go to your home.
I mean to say, like, if there is some disease, like we have to go to doctor for a medical medicine. We don't chant Hare Krishna at that time to cure that particular
No,
disease.
no. The point is, if you have a terminal disease, you have to do something to just to prolong that stay. Otherwise, you can't do anything with the disease. But if it is a normal disease, anyhow you will take care of it because you know it is a normal disease, and you have to do it because it is not that we chant Hare Krishna. Because for chanting Hare Krishna, we want to be good so that we can serve Krishna with our body, so that we want to go to hospital or doctor or take care of so that we can chant Hare Krishna. It's not that we are not chanting Hare Krishna. It's not that we chant Hare Krishna to get to relieved from that particular disease. We are going to the particular doctor to get relieved from this disease so that we can serve this body in Krishna service. But if the doctor says, no, no, you can't, your body is such a way that it is cancerous, you're having such a terminal disease that you're going to die within few days, then what you can do? So uh, my point is that yes, in disease, when you get diseased or fever or anything, you don't just chant Hare Krishna, you take care of, you go to the hospital, take care of doctor, you see to the doctor, you get medicines. Why? So that you know that you are not going to die just like that. So that you just want to get recovered and serve Krishna. Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
Prabhu. Yeah,
somebody is
that is
speaking.
fine.
This is the point. So one thing is that
So
if it is a
Vaishnava Vidhi we
terminal
can
disease,
do. Vaishnava Vidhi we can do. Apart from Karma Kanda Vidhi.
yeah,
Vaishnava Vidhi can be done.
apart from no, there is nothing like for a devotee. You see, if you would do the Vaishnava Vidhi, that is good. But if you want to do your own way, then that is again karma kanda. You do it, and you have to face the consequences also like that. You have to be ready for that also. Like if you do in a karma kandiya way or if the karmi astrologer way, then you have to be ready for that consequences also. Everything has a consequence.
Yeah.
So, so point is that either it is terminal or it is temporary. It is terminal means it is forever. Like for example, one is having by birth somebody has a disease.
Like
You can't
Mahaprabhu
change it.
also did Shraddh, na. Like everything is there. Like every
No,
he did not
Mahaprabhu
just
did
take.
Shraddh. No, Mahaprabhu did Shraddh, but after that you don't see Mahaprabhu doing Shraddh. Mahaprabhu did Shraddh. At the time he was not in the brahmachari or he was not in sannyas ashram. Once he became once he left everything, he is not doing anything in his Shraddh. So he did it because as a grihastha, it is a responsibility to do it. But our acharyas have given how to do Shraddh for in a Vaishnava way also.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Haribhakti Vilas, it is given how to do Shraddh. Of course, it's for Indians and India. It's not, you cannot do it outside India or anything because they don't know
And
the
Krishna only like
Kala.
then why Krishna told Arjuna to appease Lord Shiva to get the Pashupati mantra that
It's
Bhau
to give credit to Lord Shiva in the war, in the Pashupatastra, somewhere Arjuna will use it. And there
Hmm.
also credit will be given to Lord Shiva, credit will be given to Agni, credit will be given to Indra, credit will be given to so many people so that their participation is also there through Arjuna. That is just to glorify. But otherwise, if you say like that, then Krishna would have just ended everybody, given heart attack to all Kauravas, and they would have died when Dushasana has gone to Draupadi. At that time, he would have gone given heart attack and he would have died. 100 all Kurus would have died, and no war would have been there. We don't speak like that. The point is that if you say like that, then nothing should have been done. Krishna would have just given, just like a blink, he would have just he would have twitched like this, and everybody, all the Mahabharat war wouldn't have been there. 64 lakh crores of people wouldn't have come. Nothing. So all these things have a purpose. Arjuna, Arjuna could have asked Krishna. Krishna, Krishna could save everything. Krishna could give everything. Why he has to go to Shiva to ask Pashupatastra? Why he has to go to Indra to get one more astra? Why he has to go to Agni and get the chariot? Krishna has or Vishnu has Sudarshana eternally. But then why there is a pastime of Agni gifting Sudarshana to Krishna or Vishnu? Why? Eternally these are there, but it is just to glorify the demigod or glorify them to give some credit to them in such a way that they are also getting a participation with the service of devotee and Krishna. Krishna's
Hmm.
devotee is Arjuna. Krishna is engaging Arjuna in getting his paritranaya sadhuna virashaya jadushkrutam dharma samsthapanardhaya. So Arjuna is helping in establishing the dharma. in establishing Yudhishthir Maharaj as the dharmic person to sit on the throne. So somebody has to do something. So even Krishna can do everything, but then he gives credit. It's just to give the credit. All these things, there is one external reason and there is one internal reason for everything. External reason is, yeah, he will kill somebody, he will do something, he will appease. There is no need to appease anybody for that matter. Krishna is there. Why Arjuna has to request, I want to see the Vishwarupam. Krishna is standing. Why I have to see the Vishwarupam? And then he say, I don't want to see your Vishwarupam. And then I want to see your Saumya Rupam and then Divya Rupam. So these are just, the reasons are given by Acharyas. So the reasons are there, but these are all external. But a devotee no need to do anything. Arjuna is happy, being with Krishna, but Krishna wants something else. So it's
Yes.
like that. Krishna could do everything. Krishna could, Krishna already saved Pandavas, already saved Arjuna from all the astras and all. So Krishna could even kill all the Kauravas. But wherever Krishna wants to do, there Krishna did, and wherever Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight, he made him to fight. He encouraged him to fight. He appeased him to fight, and Arjuna did. So there are. It is not. It is not. We are not robots. We have their own. Everybody has their own free will to act, and Arjuna is also one individual soul, although he is eternal associate of the Lord, but he is also playing the part of forgetfulness and all those things by the will of Krishna. So that is all happening by the will of Krishna. We are under the clutches of Maya, but Arjuna is under the protection of Krishna's Yoga Maya. So it is different how he acts, how he does, and all those things. So as long as we are in Maya, there's so many things we should do as per Vedic scriptures. But once we become a devotee, we may not do all those things. But if you are not surrendered, then you do it and you have to face the consequences accordingly also. You cannot say, no, I can't do it. Oh, what happened? Why happened? You have to do accordingly and then you have to face the consequences. But if you are surrendered, then you do accordingly what Prabhupada is speaking, and there also consequences will be there. But every consequence is taken care of by Krishna. Because Krishna is the controlling, because you are surrendered totally, Krishna will take care of you everything. And whatever it happens, it is Krishna's will and pleasure. That's all. So it's like that. It is everywhere there are consequences. Everywhere there are this one. But who is giving the consequences and under whom you are there, that depends on the devotee. That depends on the surrender of the devotee. If he surrendered totally, then Krishna, he will think everything is Krishna is doing one Prabhu. I not doing anything. So it's going on. Somehow it's going on. If somebody has, oh, Krishna is there, Prabhu, but I have to do my karma kanda, I have to do my shraddha, then do it. If you do it, then you have to face that consequence. You have to be ready for that as well. If you are no, Prabhu, I will not do this one. I will only, call the devotees, make the feast, offer that prasadam to all the brahmanas or the devotees. Devotees are greatest brahmanas. So Vaishnavas are coming, feed them prasadam. In that way, I will offer, and whatever it goes to my father or grandfather, that is fine. That is, I'm happy. But some devotees, no, 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 no. I have to call the Karmakandi Brahmana, give some dakshina to him, give some shraddha, do it, but you have to face the consequences also accordingly. You can't say at that time, no, 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 I don't want this because you have done this. Okay, you're understanding? Okay,
Yes, Prabhu.
okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Anybody has anything to ask? Okay, Hare Krishna. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय,
जय
जोनिस भक्ति का स्वामी महाराज की जय,
जय
नमो विष्णु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।